Yo, you was really about to give away the show. So, you know what? I ain't even gonna give you a chance to cut me off this week. I'm going right now.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes! What you gonna do? 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 What you gonna do?
Oh yeah.
Hey, what's good, bro? How you feeling?
Chilling, man. What's cracking? Another day, another dollar. Did you say a year? Like, wow.
Yeah,
That's Baltimore.
You got also love it from people.
There's no other way to describe that.
Yeah, you're right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, you haven't noticed something too before you get in your hello, ladies and gentlemen. You have to like when you say like, I start just looking around for stuff out of random.
Yeah.
Like,
That is true.
I said, what am I looking? This time I looked around, there was nothing there. Like I don't know if it was like water or whatever. But I was just like, you know what? Matter of fact, nope, there it is. I got it.
Hey, all right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Just
Welcome.
keep disrupting your intros.
You just keep you going. I'm trying to get through this.
My fault. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
One more time.
That's all. I'm done.
You see, he wouldn't interrupt
go ahead.
previous one. But hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wrestling Realm Now podcast. I am Brian H. Waters, and I am joined by the remarkable, the impeccable, 10 years in, baby, the real Dwayne Allen. You know, I was doing some research, and part of the reason why I wanted to throw in this Mr. Main Event shirt, do you realize this is the very first shirt you designed for me?
Is that it's?
I'm gonna move the mic.
Look, in 10 years, it's hard to. But I think you're absolutely right. I think that's the first one you said. Like, I need a shirt for something.
Yeah,
what was it for? I don't remember.
Technically, this was 9 years.
Okay,
let's shoot. So, you remember there was a time I used to do a show on a lesser network, and I was doing the Wrestling Realm and that other show. And when I left, what happened in my memories, it came up when you first designed the Main Event logo. And when I saw the Main Event logo, I was like, oh, wow. Like, yo, I remember like how I felt when you first designed it. Because I remember sitting in the car at WrestleMania 28 and looking at that WrestleMania logo. And because I was like, designing is what you do. Hey, yo, can you do me a favor? He's like, what's up? I said, can you make me a logo? You said, I got you. I said, I wanted to look like WrestleMania 28, but you know, and you made it happen, man. And so I was looking at this and I was like, yo, you really like made the shirt for the first time. This was like the first shirt you made. So I had to throw it on today.
right. No, it's crazy to think about it because sorry, my stuff is glitching. The Wi-Fi is acting stupid. No, it's I remember that because I remember it was your shirts, and I remember I did something for there.
Wow, I was huge right there. But that was the Main Event logo you did. I couldn't find just the logo. I was like, hurry up. I'm glad I'm not that big no more. Sheesh, my face is like coming out.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I don't even recognize it.
Yeah, God is good, man. I tell you.
I'm gonna feel the same way when you play the promo for one of our shows, and I'm like, man, look how fat we were 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, but I was looking at that. You know, I was just going back in time, and and I was like, wow, this is when you made that logo, and so I was like, yo, I'm throwing this shirt because I remember like when I first posted on Instagram, and you would have thought like, you know how it is, and this is like the first time I ever posted a shirt. I had just posted a prototype, and I was like, wow, that looks so cool, this, that, and the other. And even though like Mr. Main Event is just kind of like a add-on homage name at this point, I was like, I still got to get that shirt because this is the first one.
No, yeah, like I said, it was that shirt and something for the publication of We Want Wrestling. Do you remember that?
We Want Wrestling. I feel like it.
It was like a publication or a blog or something. It was one of those news sites that we were working with early on, and it was like, you said you can make me some type of something.
Oh no, that was the Pro Wrestling Powerhouse.
PW Journal.
Yeah.
No. It was before. It was one before Pro Wrestling Powerhouse.
Ultimate Talk.
It was one.
Ultimate Sports Talk.
No,
PW Journal.
PW Journal. Yep. That's what
yeah,
it was.
PW Journal.
Yep. Yeah, and I remember I did something for them, and I remember did that in shirt. It's crazy because that was almost, man. Anyway, that was the heyday of my design years. That was like when I was really, I had always messed around with it and dug into it, but like I was TRDA was fresh in my brain, and streetwear was hot, and I was always broke, and I was like, yo, check this out. I'm going to start this. That was always my attitude. Like if I couldn't afford it, I was going to try to find a way to do it myself. And I remember like jumping into I had been working with Photoshop, but I jumped into Illustrator for the first time, like super heavy. And I was like, because I try to get a run of shirts done before, and the guy was like, dude, this isn't the right print files. And I was like, what do you mean? That's when I learned that you got to use Illustrator. You need vector files to design things. And that was one of the first designs I jumped into. So I mean, I was always what seemed opportunistic for you and us to benefit from. It was great practice for me. And to me, it still stands the test of time. It's some of my proudest work, and it's all the best part about those type of things is they're like life bookmarks for me. Like when you look at your career, where you stand at and where you want to go, you can always. When I look at that logo, I look at that T-shirt. It takes me back to 23-year-old, 24-year-old self. You know what I mean? And I remember where we were and how young and kind of on fire we were then, and how we kind of got that same zeal now. So man,
Yeah, man. I still to this day appreciate it. It was like everything I wanted, the black and the orange, it had the WrestleMania font. I think we see the other WrestleMania font a lot, and rightfully so. People love it. It's something for wrestling fans, but in that case, it just worked out. Shout out to Coley. I had King Coley from the creator hashtag Title Tuesday on, and we was talking about it. He did he's got a Title Tuesday shirt, but used the Royal Rumble font. And I was telling him I learned a lot from you as far as design and branding and everything. And you can see clearly behind me. Well, I guess I gotta turn that way. The Wrealm poster, and just on the clock. And I remember you remember our old logo, and you was like, no, it's gotta look a certain way. And so forth. And it's crazy because you did all those changes when I was in Connecticut.
I told you that was the first thing. We always say this, and we'll go into into detail when we kind of sit down for that whole hour long. Probably with a special. Now we don't know what it's going to be at this point, but I remember the first thing I kept saying to myself was, okay, if we can't do the show because we didn't really know where it was headed, we knew that was the time to say, okay, now we can kind of uproot the old look and let's start focusing on branding and marketing and stuff like that. And I knew we needed a new look, a new logo, signature colors that kind of would translate well to other things. So we wouldn't be pigeonholed to how we brand ourselves. Cause like I said, the original logo that we did, it was cool, but it was so Photoshop-ish. That's like, that was only going to last for so long you can only do but so much with it. So I remember that. Yeah. It's trust me, it's all vividly like in front of my brain. So
yeah, I still probably because I think you still got the files. Still might have to get a black one just for the sake of having one.
Trust me, I got them in multiple folders. Every time I go on my computer to do any type of design work, it's there. So
see, that's when you're smart. You keep your designs backed up.
I learned that from you. That's the crazy part. Because I used to be all over the place too. Like I used to have everything's one mainframe, but then you were like, nah, trust me, you would organize everything. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop being trifling. That makes more sense to do that. And now half the hard drive is organized, half of it isn't, because there's a first half that I transferred over from an old hard drive. I'm like, I'm not organizing this because I know exactly where it is. It will be a headache to try to find it now if I organize it. But the other stuff from then on out, I made sure I organized everything. So trust me, it's in there. I can't wait to design more stuff. We have so much stuff we haven't released, but just the new process of designing, that's going to be fun. But logistics.
Yeah, definitely. Real quick, just to let people know, if y'all want to support, go ahead, go to buymeacoffee.com. You want to support us as we, in this 10-year journey, you want to drop also anniversary gift. Hit us up, buymeacoffee.com/wrestling realm. So, Dwayne, it's always this fun part. This week.
It always catches me off guard when the graphic. I'm like, wait, we got a thing comes across now. So yeah. What did I watch this week? Why don't you start? What did you watch this week? Because mine's gonna be funny.
Yeah, so watched a couple things. I just got finished watching Trisha Dora versus Miranda Alizé. Phenomenal match. Real quick though, it was like 12, 13 minutes. Ring of Honor for their women's division. Both of them will be in the Ring of Honor women's tournament. Trisha Dora is the Pan-African champion, and she when Maria Kanellis did this interview with her to let her know she had that belt. And have you seen the belt? I think you have the Pan-African title. And you
yes, I have. That thing's a beauty. That's a beauty. I love that.
And to see it on the ROH TV, I was like, man, like that is phenomenal. So it'd be tight to see if she can come away with the ROH Women's Championship and be a double champion. But she did lose on the show, so we'll see. But also I watched Trey Miguel versus Rohit Raju on Impact. And man, I was impressed by Rohit Raju. Shout out to him. I tweeted and he started following the Wrestling Realm. But just watching the match, you know how sometimes they always say you can go over in a loss because somebody helps you. And then we all seen what Trey Miguel can do. But to see the and obviously, Rohit isn't like just starting off, but this is the first time I like really paid attention. I ain't gonna lie, this is the first time I sat down and watched the Impact show from start to finish. And I have to say,
wow, you must have been bored.
I was impressed. Some hits and misses. Obviously, it was Thursday. It's crazy because I'm getting over a cold. But last Thursday, I had had a really good workout, right? And I was like, all right, cool.
Positive.
Yeah. And then it put me under because the next few days I was sick.
Yep.
But I was like, man,
a week to recover sometimes.
Yeah. And I was like, God dang, I've been working out like every day. But that was like, you go hard. But I sat there, like I said, I watched the whole show. But that match really stood out. I just enjoyed those two, watching them go at it. You also had Kiera Hogan going against Rachel Ellerin. Rachel Ellerin would, come away victorious. I think just getting ready for the tag match. I believe they got a pay-per-view this week, and it's where they're gonna have that qualifier, that number one contender match. I'm interested. Because I don't want to stay on Impact too long. No disrespect to them. Moose, he said his goal is to become the Impact.
He's been a topic of conversation for a
is
while.
Is it too
now.
long? Go ahead. Yeah, and this is why I couldn't wait to talk to you about this, because he said he wants to become champion before his contract up. And to me, that's saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, get my title, and then I'm gonna go about my business. I don't see him as somebody who's going to be like companies in a bidding war for him. I don't see WWE and AEW saying, okay, to me, he's not Kenny Omega or AJ Styles in those couple years ago. He's not even Bobby Lashley, to be honest with you. Like, I could see WWE and AEW being in a bidding war for Bobby Lashley when Lashley's contract expired. AEW may they think they wasn't around yet, but let's just say it was. I don't see that out of Moose. Help me understand.
Maybe you done anything like it. No, I don't. Don't put me in the middle of it.
No, I was just saying maybe I'm thinking different. That's Moose all.
Look, I remember Moose was in NXT. One of them really like they were pursuing him. He was young. He was familiar. He had a solid run in Ring of Honor. That's where he cut his teeth at. He had his time in Impact, and he was kind of wrapping that whole period up. But then, I don't know if his name got thrown into some situations with some legal troubles, or Some type of domestic situation from what I know. And I remember that. And that's kind of what kind of cooled off that momentum. And he never really got it back because people usually keep their hands off of people like that when they get in that type of trouble. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They don't really get into that kind of thing. And I think that's what kind of hindered him. And, it's kind of like you said, in terms of real estate, where they're going to put anybody, like who's going to fight over him? Like, where's he going to go?
Mm-hmm.
Like in NXT, I don't think he makes a whole lot of noise. Ring of Honor is always could use him, you know what I mean? But then to me, that would be almost a step backwards. Why would you leave Impact to go to Ring of Honor? Like that don't make much sense. Right. So, we don't know if this NXT's got any feelers out for him, but we don't know if they're going to stereotype him like, all right, well, we got one black ball champion. Why we got to bring another black ball guy in? Because, these are always keen on making everybody look distinctly different. Like there's no two people that look the same. We've seen the girls get catty like, oh, if they got the same color hair, they're tripping because, So I don't see anybody either. It makes sense, but Impact may be the highest bidder at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, so. But how about you? What did you watch this week?
I watched a little bit of everything. Okay. But I think the thing that caught my eye was, I always watch Ring of Honor because of our location. We're in the Mid-Atlantic, and Ring of Honor is in our backyard, as far as Sinclair Broadcasting is concerned. So, I was flipping on Sunday. It caught my attention. It was the Briscoes versus EC3 and somebody else. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Oh shoot, let me catch EC3. It's first time I haven't seen him in a while, right?"
Right.
And it was exactly what I thought. First of all, it was good to see the Briscoes. They're good brothers. We've dealt with them for a long time personally. Mm-hmm. They both look really, really old now. They both got gray coming everywhere. And first time EC3 got in the ring, I said, okay, cool, let's see what he can do. And it looked just as bad as it always has. He stinks. He has not gotten any better. Like he did a headlock takedown. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, man. That was terrible. Like I was just like, yo.
You almost cursed.
I did. Like that's how bad it was. So I was just like, yo. That's I couldn't deal with it. I was like, yo, he still stinks. He puts together narratives, he puts together promos, he records all that stuff that goes great, right? And you say, okay, cool, he's got my attention, but he can never deliver at all in the ring. Like that's got to be one of the biggest falls from semi-grace, because it's not even fully grace, because it's crazy to think that somebody had their most legitimate run in TNA wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, how's that possible?
Talk to me. What's the difference between him and MJF? Because somebody would ask you that. And
MJF can tell a story.
Okay.
MJF has a bigger upside. He can tell a better story. He can wrestle in the ring. Like he can back up what he's saying, because he can infuriate you so much on the mic that by the time you get in the ring, the story doesn't require you to do a whole lot. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like when you're that good at one thing, he knows what he's good at, what he's not good at, and he's young. He's he hasn't had a run yet. You know what I mean? He's just cutting his teeth. He's new. Mm-hmm. Like MJF does EC3 better than EC3. It's kind of like when the guy that follows you with the same gimmick does a better job than you. It didn't happen. I've seen it happen with MJF and EC3. I've seen it happen with Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. The only time I didn't see it happen was Zack Ryder and Robbie E. Because Robbie E came after, but he didn't do a better job. That didn't last too much longer. It was kind of a carbon copy move of a niche situation. But MJF's not the greatest in-ring worker, don't get me wrong. But like I said, he does so many other things well. It makes up for it. I mean, we grew up on superstars that weren't that great. You don't have to be. If you can find something that works, that's kind of what you need. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's
and that's exactly what I was thinking. Right there, I'm sitting there. I will watch MJF when he comes on my TV. I'm stopping what I'm doing. But I never thought that way as far as EC3. Even during his heyday, it was like, okay, he's cool. All right, this is funny. but it never made me say, I gotta watch his match. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was just where MJF, you always wanted to see him get beat up, you know what I mean? Or see if he could fight his way out of this one.
EC3 is kind of guy, he's going to set you up like, okay, cool, you got my attention, and then he just can't deliver. He hasn't gotten any better.
Mm-hmm.
You will find it that Vince is right about a lot of guys. Like, we get mad when certain people get cut, but think about the major cuts that happen. Who's really become a star since they left?
That's true.
Other people have gotten opportunities, of course, but they no one is blown up. No one's like, oh, we were wrong about him. He's doing this thing now.
Right.
Like, I don't mean for it to be that way. And I'm not trying to say that, but the reality is that there's, like, you know, I'm sorry, like, show me somebody that's gone somewhere and become a bigger star besides Chris Jericho. He's 50.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, people probably would say
Matt
Cody.
Hardy. No, but see, Cody left on his own though. Like, Cody didn't get.
Oh
cut.
yeah, that's true. I see what you're going on, but yeah, just want to make sure we clarify that for the folks. Yeah,
Cody said, "Nah, this ain't good enough. I'm leaving." Like, and he went. Man, that's a whole different ball game. You know, but for somebody to get cut because they just weren't good enough, but they said, "Oh, no, y'all got it wrong. I am good enough." And did they really go out there and make a name for themselves elsewise? And, you know, outside of like the Good Brothers, but they were already established brand.
Yeah,
like. But we also found out they weren't supposed to be cut. just what happened was Paul Heyman uses their salaries as a reason to say, yo, why would we pay these guys this much money? That would help our product if you cut that off your payroll.
Yeah, he ain't over that, folks, and he not gonna get over. So don't.
No, I don't like. I will never. Nope. I'll never be a fan of. I don't like Paul Heyman. He's a bastard. I'm not with it.
Thank you for joining this episode of the Wrestling Realm Now podcast. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, we had to close the show a little bit earlier, but stay tuned. We will be back next week as we will be recapping Backlash and talking about whatever else happens in the world of pro wrestling. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters. Make sure you follow me at Brian H. Waters. Follow Dwayne Allen at Dwayne Allen 24 and on Instagram at TRDA brand. And of course, make sure you follow the Wrestling Realm at Wrestling Realm on all social media platforms. And make sure you hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star rating on all platforms, and make sure you tell your friends about the podcast. Hit the subscribe button, check out all the shows. Until the next time, folks, too sweet.